you'll be glad that you have joined. So this is one of the reasons why School Leaders and Builders Lab has been put together, because we see that there's a gap. I have been in that same shoe where you are at that crossroad and you don't know the next thing, the next step to take. And at that point, you definitely need something to spark up that and ignite that desire for the next step. And this is what School Builders Lab is set to do today, to spark up again that desire, that clarity that we are looking for. So it's one word here. It's all about clarity. What is the next phase of action? What is the next thing that we can see ahead of us? So I'm sure that that clarity you will get in this place today, right? So we are going right into it, right into it. I can see someone is saying that someone is saying practical strategies and clear steps that will help me grow professionally as an educator and improve my impact on learners. So interesting. You are in the right place. I want to assure every one of us right here this evening. Oh, somebody is joining all the way from Pakistan. Interesting. This is powerful. Wow, what a gathering of great leaders from all over the world. We celebrate you. Thank you, Bayezid, for joining all the way from Pakistan. So here today we have years of experience. At least everybody here has averagely over 6 years of experience. So, and we have some people that have come in here to share with us how to move to that next step, how to gain that clarity that you're looking forward to. Okay, so we're going to take it off from our speakers today. We have 2 mighty speakers that will be speaking with us today, that will be sharing with us today. And I want us to get yourself ready, get your writing materials, look for a comfortable place, and be ready to be inspired for that next step that you're looking forward to. Okay, so I will be introducing our first speaker today. Our first speaker today is Dr. Mrs. Abah. She is currently the Acting Director of Compliance and Enforcement at TRCN, the body that regulates teaching in Nigeria. So today, she's not just speaking as Dr. Mrs. Mary Abah, she is also speaking as a representative of a sector that stands for teachers in Nigeria, the TRCN. So when she speaks today, she speaks not just for herself, but for the sector. What she's going to share is not just an opinion. This is something that is born out of what the education system in Nigeria and of course in other parts of the world need from people like us in this room. Because we do not just see you as a teacher, we see you already as a leader. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a time for us to pay attention, a time for us to write down what we need to, and a time for us to learn from someone with great wealth of experience. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to welcome with our clapping emojis in the chat session, with our reactions, right? Celebrating our, let's welcome Dr. Mrs. Mary. The room is yours, Dr. Mrs. Mary. You can take it up from here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Afolabi. Good evening, everyone. I'm very delighted to be here tonight. And while he was reading the statistics of people in the room, I say, okay, we're home and dry because we have experience in the room and we have people that are already in practice. So I'm glad to be here. I welcome everyone. There's a lot to be unbundled tonight, and we'll see you at the end of the conversation. I'll be walking us through in the next few minutes why this conversation matters. But first, let me appreciate the School Builders Lab team for this invitation and for creating this important platform for the conversation around educational growth and leadership across Africa. I bring you greetings from the Registrar Chief Executive of the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, Dr. Mrs. Ronke Soyombo. Aha. You can imagine what has happened. We are all Nigerians, right? But I will go ahead. I have power failure. I'll try to restore it, but I'm glad you saw my face before we continue. So like I was saying, I bring you greetings from the Registrar Chief Executive of the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria. She knows I'm here. I'm going to be putting out there the position of the council. Let me begin by saying that when we work in the field and we encounter teachers daily, we encounter educators daily. Many of these educators are unsure of what next step. They feel stuck. They know in their minds, like everyone here tonight, that they want to grow beyond the classroom. This is not because they lack potential, but many a times it's just that there is no enough clarity around what growth should actually look like beyond the teaching. For a very long time, educational leadership in Nigeria particularly has been narrowed to you get into the profession as a classroom teacher, and then you are expected to grow to become a vice principal, to become the principal or a school owner. But education today is changing rapidly. Schools now require professionals who can lead beyond the instruction alone. And this is why this conversation tonight matters. Because strong schools are not built, strong schools are actually um, built by systems, and it needs leaders who will do what? Be very strategic in their operations, leaders who will drive the system in a consistent way, leaders who will be focused on the future. No, we're not here yet. Please go back to the slide. Thank you. The sector is evolving, and so must the leaders. It now leads us to a very big question. What does Nigeria need right now? What does Africa need right now? Our reality today in the education sector is that we need to build stronger non-instructional leadership. This is because teachers remain central to learning, yes, we agree, but we need professionals who can strengthen the educational backbone of institutions. We need leaders who understand governance, financial system, teacher development, operations, leaders who can integrate technology. Schools in Nigeria right now have to answer the question, are learners safe? Are systems sustainable? Are staff professionally supported? Are standards being maintained? Because when you find a very good leader in a school and that leader leaves, after that transition, you find the school struggling. This is because many schools struggle because the systems and the foundations are weak. Systems and institutions are depending on individuals rather than structures. And once this leadership changes, performance will decline. But let me tell us something important this evening. Strong institutions are intentionally built. How is that achieved? It's done through systems, through accountability, and through continuity and imbibing the culture of professionalism. Right now in Nigeria, we need professionals who can run schools and not just teaching them. I looked at the statistics of participants tonight. I'm glad that there is a large number of teachers in the room. You already have what it takes, and we'll see that in a minute when we go to the next slide, which is leadership beyond the classroom. Please, can you go to the next slide? Thank you. Now, the classroom is not a limitation. It is a foundation, a very strong one at that. And it has the potential to provide the opportunity for every individual right now that find themselves within that space to snowball into great leaders. Some of the strongest educational leaders we have today actually began as classroom teachers. And teachers naturally already have these competencies. because teachers already manage people, teachers already solve problems, teachers already communicate constantly, teachers already adopt under pressure, teachers are already coordinating systems. But irrespective of all of this, we still have that they are uncertain. The truth is, the education itself is evolving, and everyone that finds himself in that position must um, move and adopt with the change. So the issue is not capability. The capacity and the capability is already there in our teachers and is already there in everyone in the room tonight. The issue is the issue of exposure, the issue of mentorship, the issue of structure, and the issue of leadership patterns or creating a leadership pathway. This is why conversations like this are important. This is why we're here tonight. This is why um, educational leadership must go beyond the routine administration that we have currently in our schools. Because true leadership is about building systems that continue to work long after the individual has left. Strong leaders institutionalize excellence, and schools that will thrive in the future across Nigeria, across Africa, are schools that will be resilient rather than relying on personality. But before I go into what is expected or the call to action tonight, I would like for us to see um, the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria's role in all of this, or where we sit as it concerns the conversation tonight. A gap has been identified. We need to expose our leaders, our teachers. We need to give them structure. We need to mentor them, and we need to um, show them the pathways. And that is the gap that the School Builders Lab is set to fill tonight. I'm looking forward to the section after mine and hoping to take so much from it. And encourage everyone here to um, be part of the conversation and take as much as possible from it. Please, can we go to the next slide? Thank you so much, Shola. Yeah. Now, from the perspective of the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, professionalism remains central to education transformation. This is because professionalizing teaching in Nigeria will set standards that will define what the education or what the educator or what the teacher or the school leader should look like. It will give us some standards. The Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, with the support of the British Council, developed what we call the Professional Standard for School Leadership in Nigeria. That document is a benchmark. It looks at the role of leaders as it concerns administration and human resource, and it also takes care of their role as instructional leaders. Now, certification is important, licensing is important, how safe the school is important because children can only learn in a safe environment. So we must ensure that our schools are led by people who understand their duty to protect the learner, protect the teacher, and protect the community as well. We require intentional systems, accountability, and professional standards. I also understand that in recent times, additional skills and certification is not being recognized. Previously, it's not being recognized, especially in the public sector. But we are getting into a period where all of that is changing. That is why this conversation matters. Institutions are beginning to recognize that schools need leadership to truly thrive, not just leaders. Leaders that can multitask, leaders that have multidiscipline. You don't, there's no certification right now in Nigeria. For instance, you cannot have a BSc in school leadership. You cannot have, at best, what we have in our educational institutions right now, they call it education administration and planning, which is looking at the school or the institution holistically without really focusing. So we have programs and institutions like the lab we're in tonight, and we're using that as microcredits or CPD pathways to see how we can infuse those skills and competencies that is required by teachers or by school leaders wishing to grow in the profession and getting those new skill sets that will help them to function effectively. At the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, we say that the technology will not take the place of teachers, but teachers who can use technology will take the place of teachers who cannot use technology. Many educators listening tonight are ready for leadership than they currently realize. The truth of the matter is intentionality and intentional preparation is all you need. For you to grow, you need continuous learning, you need mentorship, you need exposure and the courage to step forward beyond your familiar grounds. TRCN has created a structured route for continuous professional development and career advancement. And for the school lab, I think you can work with council to see how all the teachers that are part of this webinar tonight will earn professional credit towards their license renewal and towards their progression on the career path. Because of this invitation, I went to look at the good work that you are doing, and I realized that we could give the educators or teachers that participate in these webinars an added value. So their capacities are being developed, they are learning new skills, but we can also let them earn professional credit points from all of these engagements and webinars that is being run by the uh, school lab builders. Let's go to the next slide, please. At the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, we're doing so much to see that we professionalize the profession. The current registrar has streamlined the professional qualifying exams and is focusing on 21st century skills like the literacy, the numeracy, safeguarding, digital literacy, and pedagogy. And we know that we're not yet there, but there's a lot happening right now within the public sector to see that we improve schools, learning, and teaching. You know, in previous years, the problem we had in Nigeria is problem of access. There was a lot of intervention and then enrollment increased. But right now, children are in school, but children are not learning. So we must do all that we can to see that we improve our schools. I would like to conclude tonight with a call to action that Nigeria and Africa need stronger schools. As we, not yet, please go back. Thank you. I'll tell you when to come here. Thank you so much. As we reflect on this issue, I don't believe that as Nigeria or as Africa, we need more schools. What we need are stronger schools. We need schools under leaders who can do what? Build resilient institutions, schools that can weather change, disruption, and growth without losing their quality or culture. We need schools or leaders who can build sustainable systems, sustainable in terms of operation, in terms of finance, in terms of HR structure that will outlast any single leader. I said it earlier that when you go to the field, you find schools that once the leadership leave, they start to struggle because it was built around an individual instead of having a lasting and sustainable system. We also need leaders who can promote professional culture where educators are valued, developed, and held to the highest professional standards. We need schools or leaders who can run with discipline, accountability, and clarity from classroom to the boardroom. Who says that teachers cannot sit uh, as chairman of board? Who says that the opportunities in the education system is not enormous? Schools must We must build schools with stronger system, with stronger professionalism, with stronger leadership cultures. This is because the future of African education, the future of Africa's education would depend greatly on our institutions. The truth is that operational excellence is no longer an option, it is essential. And the reason is that everyone in this room tonight, I believe you already have the talent. I believe we already have the professionals, and we already have leadership potentials to achieve this. Having said that, we can go to the next slide, please. I said this earlier, but I want to close with this and re-emphasize it, that strong schools are not built by vision alone. They are built by systems and by leaders who sustain them. That is why each and every one of you is here tonight. Thank you so much once again for the opportunity to share this reflection. I'm still here because I also look forward to what is ahead from Mr. Kamal, and best wishes to everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much,
I want to take
Dr.
8 minutes.
You're well done. Great
Dr.
work.
Mary Abah. Thank you so much for the great work. And please, can we celebrate TRCN? We're not just celebrating Dr. Abah, we are celebrating TRCN
Thank you so
for
much.
coming to share with us today. And our greetings to Dr. Mrs. Shirombo as well. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
laying this right foundation for us to build. And I love the fact that you kept emphasizing that the classroom is never a limitation. The classroom is never a limitation. So every one of us here, please erase that from your mind. You are not limited. And the schools are looking for leaders like you. There are so many opportunities. It is not just the instructional leaders, but we are also talking about the non-instructional leaders. The education system is changing, and we are also evolving with it. And thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing that strong schools are not built by vision alone. They are built by systems, and the leaders, that is you and I, will sustain them. So thank you so much. And we will keep moving on. But let's take some minutes to just appreciate her in the comment section. And as you do that, push in one thing that you've learned from Dr. Mary Abah's presentation tonight. Yes, thank you so much for sharing. Now we will continue as we move on in the 60 powerful minutes that we have today. And the next person I will be calling up is someone that will re-emphasize the fact that the classroom is never a limitation. This is somebody that I've gone through the rungs of the ladder, and he is where he is today because he is a visionary, he is a leader, but who started in the classroom. He started in the classroom. And this is somebody that the first time I had the opportunity of listening to him, I can tell you that it changed my perception about what the school system needs and who we are supposed to become as leaders. I am talking about Mr. Kamal Ahmed. He has spent over 30 years in Nigerian education, from the classroom as a teacher, and right now he is the principal of a full British curriculum. He is actually the principal of Waterman in Ogun State, Adeola. He has not just read about the career ladder. He has not just studied about the career ladder. This is someone that has the experience of climbing every rung of the ladder. And what you're about to hear and what the wisdom you're about to hear from him is not just theory. This is not theory. This is practical. It is something he has lived. It is something that he is a testament of. And I can tell you that you will not remain the same after listening to him tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, with our heart open wide, with our mind ready to learn, please let's make welcome Mr. Kamal Ahmed. Please, can we please appreciate him with your clap emojis, in the chat session, and also your reactions, right? Mr. Kamal, you can have the room now.
Thank you very much, Afolabi. I'm very glad to be here. I want to thank Dr. Mary Abah for a great presentation. That actually looks like a teaser that prepares my mind for what the evening will look like. Then I also want to thank the School Builders Lab for this opportunity. What I've said to people every time I have a chance to address leaders and the young people in my career space, I always say, well, I have the privilege of having my children go to great schools and learn under great teachers. What will it look like for my grandchildren? Will I have great teachers for them? And it's not going to change. It's not going to. My wish is not going to happen by accident. We all have to be deliberate in how we have to be intentional in how we prepare for the tomorrow of education. I have been in the industry on the 16th of July this year. It will be my 40th anniversary as a classroom teacher. And in those 40 years, I've been only in boarding schools, a mixed grill of Nigerian curriculum school and British curriculum school. In the past 25 years of my career, I've been a minimum of a vice principal. So, and I'm going to be talking to you about my journey, how I started out and how by divine intervention and intentionality, God has brought me this far. But I will start by telling you first that a lot of people are in teaching today by accident. They are here by accident because they didn't set out to be teachers. They set out to be in some other professions because they accepted the stereotype of the public, of society about teachers, and it clung to them. But some, like me, were deliberate teachers, people who knew from the beginning that they were going to be teachers. They stepped out to be teachers, decided out to be teachers, and they prepared. But the first thing I did, when it dawned on me that I will do well as a teacher and I want to be in the education space, was to clearly have a philosophy of my career. So I was clear in my head that I want to work in an environment where only the best is good enough, where I will be challenged to bring my best to the table, where I will have clear KPIs, clear ideas, what my employers expect of me, where I'll be given an opportunity to develop myself, where my performance will be measured, where it will be graded, and where I'll be rewarded accordingly. But when I started, the only top grade environment for teaching was the federal government colleges. So what I did in 1986 was I joined the Federal Civil Service. And they asked me, which ministry? I said, education. And I was posted to Ministry of Education. From there, I was posted to a federal government guest college. And I was clear that when I got there, I saw that I was part of a batch that came in that year. Promotion and references and reward was going to be around who got here first, which states are they from, who do they know? And I already knew that wasn't going to be my thing. I wasn't going to be part of a number. I just want to be clear that I want to be an environment where I will stand out. I want to be an outlier, do great things, be recognized for them and be rewarded. So after being 14 years in the Federal Ministry of Education, in my 14 years, I first went to the Federal Government Girls College, Abuja. That was my first school, all girls. I did 2 years. Being a young man, I just wanted other experiences. Then I requested for a transfer. I was briefly transferred to a school in Bauchi, like in Gombe, current Gombe State. Then I moved from there to Federal Government College, Sokoto, where I spent another about 4 years, a mixed school, boys, girls. Then in 1991, when the gifted program, it's called the School for the Gifted and Talented, it's called Sola Academies in Niger State. Incidentally, the federal government, through Professor Ipaye, set up a committee to look for teachers they consider to be excellent, who can drive the agenda. And I got pulled into that program on a promise of excellent career, excellent demand, excellent environment. And I joined, and it was quite a great environment for me. It gave me the opportunity to, we are running accelerated program. We are doing the junior secondary school program in 2 years and doing the senior secondary school program now that 2 years. So it was accelerated. So I did about 5 years in that school. And I felt, well, the standard changed. They brought in inclusivity by bringing what we call relative merit. And I do not know merit to be relative. Merit is just merit. I didn't believe I was going to fit into that environment where mediocrity is creeping into the space of excellence and merit. So I then sought to go to King's College, Lagos, to teach. But I got to King's College. It looks very great school, historical antecedent, loud in the space, but it was just too huge for me. I was going to be walking your fingers out of the park. So I chose to go to the Federal School of Science and Federal Technical and Science School in Yaba. It was Federal Technical College Yaba at that point, but today it's FSTC. And I went there to teach business studies to basic technical students for the city and guild, and so to introduce other programs. I did that one for about another 5 years. In this period, I didn't know of any private school. I didn't hear of any. I was in the dark. Then one day, I met a man who happened to be a principal of King's College, then told me that his children are in a school called Olajure International School. Looking at the man, look at the class of the man, the way he does his things, I just knew that if his children can be in that school, then that school must be great, and that's where I should be. And the universe just cooperated with me. A few weeks after that, I stumbled on an advert from Olajure International School looking for a teacher of business studies. And I applied. And I was shortlisted and interviewed. I was offered a role. So they offered me a role of business studies and account teacher. I did that between year 2000, then 2003, to 2004. Then I approached the principal of the school to negotiate for a promotion and asked him, "Excuse me, sir, you've made me a teacher. I've changed the scenario. The result has been fantastic. In accounting, I've added 25% value added. In commerce, value added is about 45%. You made me the secretary to the school planning committee. The school handbook is practically in my English or in my expression. And you made me the head of a team called Bombers. We came first in the whole school competition. What will you offer for this? Because you promised me I'll be rewarded as I contribute." And the guy said, "No, it's not automatic that way." And my appraiser from my HOD did not say that I was doing great. I said, "Okay, let me test it out." Then I saw an advert from a school called Thomas Adewumi looking for a public relations and admissions manager for their A-levels program they were starting and some other programs. I applied. At the interview, we were 12 of us. I was the only person who is not from public relations background. But being a teacher, at the aptitude test, I scored all the available mark in the aptitude test, just dropping 0.5. So that everybody got curious and they wanted to meet me. And after the interview, I was offered the role. So I was only 9 months there when Olajure called me back and offered me the role of a vice principal administration. I then pleaded that if you make me a VP administration, you'll be limiting me to school. Can you make me a head of administration? And they agreed. So I got that job. But to many people in the inside, it was a gift. It wasn't near leadership while he was here. He led for 9 months, he came back. So there was difficulty in getting my people in the inside to accept me. Rising from your peers is always going to be challenging. They won't believe you. They won't want to accept you. They will resist for different reasons that do not have anything to do with your competencies. But anyway, I did that for 2 years and 3 years. Then one day, I went to the library to check something. I saw an advertisement from UBA Medicals looking for the head of HR and administration. But I also need to tell you that I came into the private school sector with 14 years experience. I was clear in my head that by the time I'm 18 years in the classroom, I must move to leadership. So that was why I went to see my principal to negotiate. So there was no opportunity, so I went to another school to do 9 months, but came back and I got leadership. So getting leadership, I needed to prove my point that, but to also negotiate the leadership, when my mates were doing Ahmed in education, I just thought in my head, it was going to be critical for leadership for me to have a kind of graduate school qualification that speaks to competence and skill set in administration and management. So I saw opportunity for an MBA at the Obafemi University in Nigeria. And I applied and I was given admission. So I did an MBA in human resource management. So it was at the point I completed the MBA that the opportunity from Olajure came. So I just keyed into that. So you will see that there's a trajectory between my being clear-headed, who I am, where I want to be, what preparation I need, and the opportunities that I got. At the interview for my for the position of head of administration at Sola International School. The principal, a British principal, obviously, and I'm not reading his mind, I couldn't have a chance to do so, probably had another candidate in mind, insisted I must have an MBA. Unknown to him, it was just about 2 months after my MBA result was awarded to me. So I pulled it from my folder and I gave him, and that settled the matter, and I got the job. So I did it for 2 years. Then so that qualifies me for a job in a bank environment. So I went to UBA Medicals. UBA Medical was the HMO UBA. When the HMOs were coming, UBA had one that was called UBA Medicals. And I was the first head of HR and administration to test and to prove to my doubters that what the school offered me was not a fluke, that I actually could do this job. So I went to UBA Medicals, and I did about 3 years at UBA Medicals. Then our opportunity came in a news magazine house called Real House Communication. They were the publishers of Castle's Weekly magazine, or Speed, and a lifestyle magazine that talks about fashion and household equipment. So I went there as the administrator, and again, I did about 3 years there. And then opportunity came for me to go to another school. So I went to another school, and I was in succession of schools, either as principal or acting principal in that order. Then I through a mutual friend, I heard that there was an opening in oil and gas. Shell wanted somebody who, in their social performance space, who can speak to things like education, scholarship, professorial seats, youth empowerment, and stuff like that. And I applied for the role. Yeah, they took me through the whole hog of their interview process. Was long one, but I went through it, and eventually Shell gave me an opportunity. And I did that for 2 years. I actually thought I was going to end my career in Shell because the environment was good and the pay was good. But somebody in the inside of the Shell, my karma caught up with me. I said I wanted to be a teacher. So somebody something happened in the space where the chairman of the board of Shell sat, and he needed somebody from education to go out somewhere to another of his personal investment, to go and do something for him there. Everybody pointed at me. And for almost half of my salary, less than half of my salary at Shell, I took that job, and I was the principal of that school for 7 years, building the population of the school from 203 to 401. And today I'm at the Waterman College, where I'm also sit on the board. I support the school to grow. We're also growing in numbers. And I happen to be the first substantive Nigerian principal or Black principal of the Waterman College, which means I carry a lamp of hope for all Nigerian teachers. And like I tell my colleagues, if I fail as a Black principal of the Waterman College, I've deemed the hope of all Nigerian teachers, all African teachers, because once the first Black man fails, another Black man will not have an opportunity. So I begged all of them to support me to succeed, so that it can be the room for opportunity for other people to succeed. But what worked for me, basically, was the fact that I dared to be different. I dared to develop myself. I found mentors, people who knew more than me, not necessarily in my industry, people across industries, who are doing things that are exceptional, things that I wasn't doing at that period. I was wondering, how are they able to do it? When you meet a young man who is managing a budget of $50 million and is turning things around and is making waves. So I decided to talk to people to see, hey, what are you guys doing differently? What can I learn? And in that learning process, I started to think differently about myself. I started to ask, what is available in my industry? How do I move up the ladder? Accountability was key to me. I had clear expectation in my head. Who am I? What do I represent? Actually, in the third year of joining UBA Bank, I created a personal niche for myself. I created a brand called the Kamalish brand. So that my brand represents all that I am, how I speak, how I dress, where I go, what I accept, what I don't accept, what I stand for, what I can't stand with. All these were put into my brand structure. So I told myself, in choosing schools or companies to work for, first in my career in the schools, I told myself clearly in my head, for me to work in your school, it must be a legacy school. Legacy school, because it would then mean that there will be no pressure to cut corners about result, about performance, to a point that my integrity and reputation will be challenged. Because I was clear in my head that I was in this business to market reputation, that what is going to define was going to be my reputation. So if you are not a legacy school, I wasn't going to work in such a school. So I made sure everybody understood that I was going to represent the best standard possible. But the things I did, again, was to say, communication was going to be key. Because a leader does a lot of things around communication. You give instruction, you give feedbacks, you do CPDs. So the communication was key. So I also took time out to seek short courses that can help me become a better, clearer, concise communicator, whether in communications or in written communication or in verbal communication. I also made sure that I paid attention to myself, self-grooming, because what I look for in everybody is self-care. Do you self-care? Do you care about yourself? Do you care about how you look? Do you care about how people perceive you? So I paid a lot of attention to how I appear when I'm with my students or when I'm people anywhere I go. I didn't actually want to I didn't want to authenticate the impression people have about teachers. That teachers are poor. I wanted to radiate prosperity because it was going to be good for me. So I wanted to radiate prosperity. I wanted to feel good about myself. I want to represent my brand properly. So doing all this. So for the first time, I began to see education not only as teaching and learning, but as an enterprise that requires system, strategy, finance, operational, human resources. So in my own case, having done a first degree in business education, having an MBA, the business acumen, the finance bit was already clear to me. But also having been about 14 years in the classroom, deliberate engagement, intentional engagement in the classroom, that also prepared me for an understanding of the classroom and the other side of the operation of a school system. But let me tell you this. I never accepted a job from a school where they would give me roles solely in the classroom and they won't give me pastoral care roles. I didn't accept it. I never accepted a job from a school, even as a younger teacher, without being in leadership. I didn't accept any job from any school that won't give me a bit of administrative exposure. And the reason is this. When the top is narrow, the top is in a pyramid, and it's a top narrow pyramid. It's an inverted cone. So, and I knew clearly that if I specialize only in teaching and I do not have pastoral care experience, there might be a vacancy for a role of a vice principal pastoral and I will not be qualified. There might be a role for a vice principal administration, I will not. So I took an approach that I got either by volunteering or by prognosing. I was just interested in getting involved in everything that was happening in the school. I wanted a role, either I volunteer or you offer me. I threw myself at everything. So that gave me a holistic development. Then I also threw a wider net. Who are the employers of teachers? My dear colleagues, I have quite a number of my younger mentee teachers who today are working in the World Bank. I have quite a number of my mentee colleagues who today work in the African Development Bank. I have a huge number of my colleagues, people like me who worked in oil and gas, coming from the classroom. I have quite a number of my colleagues today who work for international donor agencies. So I have a number of my colleagues who also moved ahead to become operators in the tertiary education space. So the opportunity for teachers, Nigeria and globally, is very wide. Today, Africa is one of the major exporters of teachers to the world, particularly Eastern and Central Europe, and even the US, even in Western Europe. Nigerian teachers, African teachers are on demand. and they are making waves. So one of the most important discovery of my career was realizing that schools are complex. My dear colleagues, as you prepare for leadership, please, the school system is very complex. Complex because having practiced leadership in both school and non-school environment, I'm very clear in my head that the school system is very complex because you deal with tools that speak human, children, who will demand accountability from you, who will ask questions from you. A great school is not built by great teaching alone. It requires a great system. And that was what, and I can't agree less with Dr. Mary Abah. She nailed it clearly. A great school is built on great system. It requires strong leadership. It requires sound financial management. It requires effective people management. It requires governance structure. It requires strategy thinking. It also requires realization in change. And this must make you also think in your mind of what will be your change strategy. So since joining the private education sector, I've worked in 7 leading schools and held leadership positions in all of them. Each move I made was intentional. I have taken a pay cut before because it was strategic for me to get into another position that will pay less, but give me more significance, give me more visibility, and give me more exposure that can then prepare me for a bigger job ahead. So first, for me, is that you should be intentional. Where do you want to be in the next few years? When I became a vice principal, there was nowhere any school would offer me the role of a curriculum leader or a head of department. No matter the pay, I will never accept it. I've already passed being a curriculum leader or a head of. I'm already a vice principal, and since I've been a principal in the past almost 10 years or more, I have never considered being a vice principal. No matter the pay, no matter the class of the school. I don't have a reverse gear in my career trajectory. Each move expanded my capacity. Every move I made expanded my capacity. I learned boarding school administration, human resource. All this was because I was intentional. Leadership beyond schools. At some point, I deliberately stepped outside the school environment. And that was why when I went to UB Medicals, when I went to Shell, when I went to Castle's Weekly magazine, this was to give me opportunity out of the school system. My reason for this again was also intentionality. I wanted to see how does the industry run different from the way the schools run. So if I know the skill set that will be required in the industry, then it's easy for me to take it back to school, then to empower my team, empower my subordinate, share with my subordinates, and also be able to impact the life of my young learners, because the end of this process for them is readiness for life after school. So why would they go to? So I was deliberate to take some experiences in non-school areas. I worked as head of human resources. I worked as administrator. I served as subject matter expert. All these experiences taught me, one, leadership skills are transferable. The fact that you are in education today as a leader does not mean that your skills are not relevant in other spaces. So leadership skills, once acquired, once warehoused, once developed, can be transferred. They are transferable. People management is people management, regardless of where you are. The utility of your experiences, regardless of where you got it from, will be relevant to what you do in your leadership in the school system. Human beings will be human beings, and the major asset of every company is the human capital asset. Then strategy is strategy. System thinking is system thinking. So these things are common to organizations regardless of size or style. Some components are just the best education leader understand the world beyond education, because the world is bigger than what we do as a school. We must have this global view. How do we fit into the global community of educators and leaders by what we do? What I wish someone had told me earlier, honestly, if there's one lesson I wish someone had taught me much earlier, it is this: do not wait for promotion before preparing for leadership. One lesson you must take: preparation is the foundation of participation. participation is the mother of celebration. If you are not prepared, you will never be given an opportunity to participate. And if you do not participate, you will never be celebrated. So do not wait for promotion before preparing. Leadership precedes promotion. Leadership is without boundary. Leadership does not require an office or a title. Leaders are just leaders. Yes, leaders are born, but leaders are also made. So leadership does not require you to be that title, somebody with a big title. Your personality by situation can inspire leadership. You must have that at the back of your mind. Many educators assume that when the position comes, they will learn what is required. No, please, a hunter that wants to kill a big buffalo and then want to put the bullet in the gun only when the buffalo appears will kill nothing. So you have to actually, in your own mind, or position yourself for opportunities by preparation, by CPD, by mentorship, by coaching, prepare for opportunities. They usually go to the person who appears most prepared. Leadership opportunity rarely go to the most experienced person. So you will not be, my dear colleagues, you will not become a leader because you are most experienced. You become a leader because you are most prepared. What has defined my career? Looking back, I'm proud of many things. Please, these are the things that, in my opinion, impacted my career and gave me the opportunities I have in life or in the profession. One, I've helped transform school culture. I've done a lot of things helping schools to transform. That what are we doing in this school that we can do differently? What are we doing that we can own, warehouse, and improve upon? But what are we also doing in our schools that we can do better? It was important to me. I have also helped build stronger systems. So that is also one thing that defined my career. I helped systems to get better. I helped organizations and people to get better, and eventually, ultimately, by ripple effect, also get better myself. I've grown the enrollment. It became a niche. Everybody knows that if Kamal heads a school today, the number in the school will grow. It just became a niche. So that also has helped me. I also grew number, knowing that, and this is talking to understanding the finance of education. That's what we call the economics of education. It's good to have legacy schools. It's good to have strong culture. It's good to have all these fancy things. My dear colleagues, as a leader of a school, your finances, your bottom line, the economy of the education, your balance sheet must also speak to sustainability. Two key sustainability components of any school is that you must continue to grow your number. Your number creates an illusion of success, that people go to this school because the school is successful. If you do not grow your number year on year, over time, the school will deplete figures and it will die. It will naturally just hemorrhage and die. Again, you also have to look at your bottom line. By growing this number, am I growing my finances? Am I able to finance my operations? Am I breaking even? Am I on the path to sustainability? This must be, these are the part of the things that I understood that defined my career. But the achievement of value most is helping people grow. You must achieve what is most valuable. What do you think will help people grow? Nothing gives me greater satisfaction than seeing someone move from teacher to middle leader, from middle leader to senior leader, from senior leader to institutional leader. That is true purpose of leadership. However, these things will not be given to you by anybody. The position on the table, on the big table of leadership and education, is not going to be a gift. You are going to earn it. You are going to snatch a table in that room. Nothing gives, that is true. Leadership skill, audit, reflection. You also need to ask yourself, what skill do you need? So you have to do an audit of your leadership skill. When I started my career, my scores in financial literacy, government strategic planning, and school operation would have been very low because I didn't know all these things as such. Yes, my finance could be good, but application of it. Yeah, financial literacy, I was good. How great. Strategic planning. I was a young teacher. I wasn't a great planner. I have not been faced with the planning situation that will require me to bring my expertise and talent to the table. But as I grew by immersion, by engagement, by learning, by reading, I am strong at strategic planning today. I'm very good with school operation, and I just thank God for the way my career had moved. Otherwise, my score on all these components would have been very low. I was an excellent teacher, but I did not understand budget. I did not understand governance structure. I didn't even work with a board. I was looking at the board from a distance. And there was a point in my life when I thought principals just sit in the offices to drink tea and push all of us to go and do the job for them. I didn't know that it was difficult, that principals had strategic role to play, that they were strategists, because I was only in tactics and operation for many years. Those skills came later. They were learned. I learned all these skills. That is the encouraging message for everyone here today. Go and learn the skills you do not have. Your skills for leadership can be learned. Leadership is not talent alone. Talent alone is not sufficient as a description or a requirement of leadership. No. You must learn leadership. You must develop. You must be a lifelong learner. Leadership is learnable. My closing message to my younger colleagues and my peers in this room today: the ladder is real. Leadership ladder is real. You have to climb it. The journey is possible. Yes, why the ladder is real? There's a ladder, but the journey is possible. Every leader in education started somewhere. I was once, first and foremost, a classroom teacher. Everything I have become was built on base of one step at a time, one strategic step at a time, asking the question, what is most important now? What is my do? What is my swim or sink now? What should I do now? Not in terms of financial reward, but building the future that I need in education. Everything I've become was built a step at a time. The challenge before you today is simple. My dear colleague, this is a challenge. And take this away from here. Do not limit your growth by your current role. Don't let your current role define you. Where you have a bigger dream, but you do not have a room to participate, please volunteer. Volunteer in your mosque. Volunteer in your church. Volunteer in your community. Where you master a skill you got from somewhere, nobody ever asks you where you got it from. You are applauded for the skill you show. The challenge before, do not limit your growth and current role. Prepare yourself for the next rung before it arrives. You are in the classroom now. You are a classroom teacher now. You want to be a middle leader. Please, it will only come to you if you prepare. Live opportunity comes to those who are prepared. So if you are not a middle level leader today, prepare for that. When your preparation meets your opportunity, then you are lucky and it will happen. It will not become a middle leader by accident. You will become by preparation. But when you get that chance to be that middle leader, please be the best middle leader that can be found anywhere. Be the best middle leader in any organization you have found. Be the best in the world. Ask, what is the best skills? What are the best practices of topmost middle leaders in the world? Organizations keep their best talents. They nurture them. If you are the best, they will nurture you. They will water you. If you water the system, those who water systems sparingly are watered back sparingly. But those who water organizations generously, they are watered back generously. It's what you give to that you get. So prepare. Invest in skill and leadership talents that you need. Invest in skill that you require to be a great leader. Seek environment that challenge you. If you are in a place where you are being celebrated for mediocrity, my dear colleagues, please leave. The time to leave was yesterday, not even today. Leave. Go to a place where they will demand the best from you. The true test of meta is fire. Don't celebrate mediocrity. Don't stay in a comfort zone. Don't stay in a place where you will not be challenged. It was very easy for me to remain in the federal civil service, where I had 6 periods a week, and nobody was going to ask me any question. But if I remained there, I would have become nothing in life. Going to the private school sector, where more questions were asked, more was demanded of me, actually helped me to be where I am today. Keep learning. Because one day, someone will ask whether you are ready for the next opportunity. To answer yes or no at that point will strictly be your business. When that day comes, your preparation must answer before your mouth does. My dear colleagues, It's been a pleasure speaking with you. The top is, there are vacancies at the top. There's a seat for everybody at the big table, but it's not going to be a gift. You have to prepare. Look ahead, have a career pipeline, have a vision of where you want to be. See tomorrow, literally speaking, and prepare for tomorrow. If tomorrow comes, tomorrow will come, and the tomorrow that I speak about is today, this moment. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope that all I've said to you today will help you in making your journey into leadership easier, better, and stronger. Thank you. God bless you.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Can we just celebrate Mr. Kamal? Come on. Let's celebrate what we've heard tonight from Mr. Kamal. This is much more than enough. This is so much. Everything that we need. I said it from the beginning. This is not theory. This is very practical. This is somebody that have walked the path, right? And is teaching us how to go through the same path. If you are still the same after this moment, then you have yourself to blame. There's a shift in our mind. There's a shift in our mentality. There's a shift in our intentionality right now. I can say that for a fact. Wow. Thank you so much. Amazing wealth of wisdom that we just received from Mr. Kamal. Please, come on, let's shower the praises in the chat session. Let's give it up for him in the chat session. Come on, put in. There's too much to learn. There is too much to learn. I can tell you for a fact that there's a shift going on in our mindset right now. There's a shift going on in our mindset right now. You see, it is not time for us to look at the negative. It is for us to now begin to change our mentality. Opportunities are everywhere. It is we preparing for it. It is us preparing for it. And that is why School Leaders Builders Lab has been set up. This is not just raising classroom teachers. This is not just raising school leaders. It's raising leaders first. Raising leaders first. And then we will go into different sectors, the education sector, and begin to change things in those sectors. Wow, this is amazing. Amazing insight. There's nothing that will prepare us except we prepare ourselves. And as we go ahead with that, sharing our insight from what Mr. Kamal has just dished out, it's important that we take this last session before we round up. And please prepare your questions. If you have questions, Mr. Kamal is here. Dr. Mrs. Abah is still here. Please prepare your questions immediately after this next session. And for this next session is very, very important. It's very important. This is from the visionary of School Builders Lab, the founder of School Builders Lab, Mrs. Sola Amudipe. She is the Chief Operating Officer of Atlantic Hall School. And I'm telling you, she is also a testament. The story that you hear from her will be something that is also very practical. She has seen a gap because she has walked the path. And this is why School Builders Lab is set up. This is why this organization is put together, so that we can help school leaders or school teachers, classroom teachers to move into the next step, And already we are getting the clarity. So I want to tell you that thousands of educators in Nigerian schools today who are ready for more, right, do not have that clarity of what path to take. And that is why School Leaders Lab, Builders Lab is set to answer that question. So tonight, the answer to bridge that gap will be answered by Mrs. Sola Amudipe. So please don't go yet. Keep calm. There are still questions that you need to ask and answer. And I'm betting you that some of the questions will be answered right now from Ms. Sola. Let's celebrate Mrs. Sola Amudipe. Please, we are going to celebrate her in a special way. This is the visionary, the founder of the School Builders Lab. She's the one bringing us together here. So please, wherever you are, put in the emoji, put in your reaction as we powerfully, I mean powerfully. I'm not going to give her the floor until I see so much reactions from us, until I see so much celebration for us. Let's powerfully welcome Mrs. Sola Amudipe for our session. Mrs. Sola, now over to you.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I hope, is my video on? My camera, is it on? Can you see my face?
I can see your face. It's on.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Afolabi. Please, Mr. Afolabi and I, we've come a very, very long way. He's also an excellent school leader like myself. We started from the classroom. Our stories are similar. And honestly, Mr. Kamal and Dr. Mary had done justice to what we have this evening. I don't even know where to start from. My story, I should just go and keep calm. After listening to Mr. Kamal, you know that some people have gone ahead of us, making the path kind of easy, but we need to really take it like, we really need to do the work so that we can, get to that point. You need to stay till the end. We have a lot of gifts that will be shared. Even the feedback form, we'll only be sending resources to those that fill the feedback form. We'll use the email addresses to send the resources we've used this evening, and how you can do your audit, and the four ladder that Mr. Kamal talked about in his when he was sharing his story with us. So what we experienced this night, right, is just a glimpse of what School Builders Lab is all about. I want to be really raw, you understand, before I go into the slide. It is important that I say this. After spending almost 20 years in the education space, I started from the classroom. I went to University of Education. I did not go and do another course and came back. From my very beginning, I studied education and I started from the classroom. Elementary school, I taught, and then from there, head of school, head teacher, operation. You begin to wonder, I was not even prepared. I didn't even know that these things were available, even in the space, but I was just doing the work, just like most of us are already, doing the work. We are doing it. Maybe we don't know. We are giving a lot to it, right? So I kept seeing the same pattern over and over, right? Brilliant educators, capable people already carrying leadership responsibility unofficially. People schools depended on heavily, but there was no clear pathway for them to go beyond instruction. I am not just, right now I am a non-instructional leader in a school, but I got to the point of, getting certified with the British Council as instructional school leader, right? So when I noticed the pattern, I felt like, okay, because I've walked this path, I have been on this side and also on this side. I understand, I can speak as a teacher, I understand the pain. And I know that we can do it instead of other people coming from the sector, to dominate the business side of education. Please mute your mic. Mr. Afolabi, you might help me to do that because I've been muting people's mic and I can't do both of them.
I'll do that now.
All right.
I'll do that now.
So I realized that when I started my role as Director of Operation at Caleb Group of Schools, I was looking for courses I could take. Maybe I didn't look for well, but if it's that available across board, it shouldn't be difficult. On school operations, I saw courses on operations, and it is not narrow. School has its own special peculiarity. It wasn't narrowed down to school. I look for courses packaged together. I saw courses I did, but I wasn't really satisfied. So it started coming to me that there's a gap, and we have teachers that do really well. We need to even move other, younger teachers into the sector. I saw somebody's chat saying that she joined the sector because she wants to impact, but the sector is frustrating. My dear sister, let the sector not frustrate you. Just like you heard Mr. Kamal said, some of us said that in those days, even in this day, we can still find our path. Some of us are still finding our path, and the path is still there. You heard him. He said there's space on the table at the top. We just have to find our way up there. And a lot of us are trying to. So do we know what the pathway is really about? So we came up with the School Builders Lab, right? Because most of the time, if you look at training, it's always on pedagogy, instruction, maybe leaders, the manage teacher, they observe feedback. It's majorly on instruction. What happens to that side? You're at the mercy of God. Find your way. If you have people like Mr. Kamal, maybe they can guide you. Have mentors here and there. That's how we started the School Builders Lab. Now, the School Builders Lab, you can see on the board, is a structured professional development program for not just Nigerian school educators. This is a Pan-African program, because the first cohort we had fellows from Kenya, Rwanda, and even Malawi, right? And this time around, we have quite a lot of people, and even people from Ghana, a lot of people. So this is Pan-African program. And then when Dr. Mary said that what we are doing today, I am happy to tell you that School Builders Lab has registered with the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, TRCN. And what that means is that because we just registered, they are going to be part of the program, as we're going to be starting in June. And at the end of the day, we'll be getting points that will be allotted to different courses. So but when we are done, we'll have this point, and it will count to your professional development when next you want to renew your license, right? And then it's not just Nigeria, we are going to be having it also register with the UK CPD. So, it's a lot, so that globally it will also be accepted. Like I said, it's not just a Nigerian thing. We are going to be working with the countries that will be existing in. Okay, so basically we have various programs, but right now we are pushing the foundation, the School Builders Lab course, the Leadership Foundation courses. So the program itself is 10 weeks, right? So the 10 weeks you see on the screen, we have 8 modules spanning from school operations, financial literacy, HR and people's management, governance and policies. We have strategic leadership and change management. We have school growth and enrollment. We have student experience. We also have technology and edtech. So we are not talking about ICT being taught in the classroom. We're talking about technology that is being used in the admin side. Just like the school is an organization like any other organization, right? So we have these courses, and how it runs is that every week you take a course. For research, you take the school operation this week, where you have your quiz and all of that on the LMS. Then on Saturday, you have a live session with people that have gone ahead of us. I am glad to let you know that 3 of your facilitators are on the call with you this evening. Mr. Afolabi is a facilitator on the student experience. The people that took the last word can testify. Mr. Kamal is also on board, is the one that will be taking the strategic leadership and change management, and I will be facilitating the school operation. So we have other facilitators coming, and beyond that, we have 4 webinars that will be happening fortnightly, where we talk about other topics that borders on what you're expected to do and how you're expected to, the courses that you're supposed to be grounded in, right? So we have the live course, and then after the 8 weeks, we have your capstone project. You must have been working on the project. The people that did the last time, some of them are on the call. You work with the school wherever you are. You don't necessarily have to sit down in one office and say you're a leader. For instance, I was saying that when I joined Caleb in 2021, I joined Caleb as head teacher. And under 3 months, I was promoted to becoming the director of operations, Caleb Group of Schools. Like I wasn't expecting it, like director of operations. What was I supposed to be doing? And this was because I was doing the job and I didn't know that was what I was doing. And then Mr. Kamal said, just be prepared, just be ready. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just keep moving, right? When opportunity comes and you're prepared, you'll be blessed, right? And that was what happened to me. And that was what gave me the guts to keep going. You heard what he said. I can never go backward. No. I will only go forward, right? So you don't necessarily have to say, now I am the head of school, or now I am the HR manager. No, you just have to prepare yourself, and these things will make way for you because somehow you will exhibit them. And then when opportunity shows itself, you see that nobody will say it before you are being called. So we have the capstone project where you defend real life project. Is not something that you're guessing. You work with your school. Let them know this is even something that you'll be proud of. Let them know that you are attending this program. Okay, so this is a problem that I have identified, and it's even going to be easier for you to identify because you're part of the system and you're working with them. The solution, how is going to be achieved, the people that will be working with you, how successful. I mean, the last cohort, Mr. Afolabi was also there. They defended their project. It was not funny, and it's something that is practicable, right, before the faculty. And for first cohort, this was what they achieved. You see that 9.6 to 10, this is a rating, the satisfaction rating. The average score, because now TRCN is coming, I told you UKCPD, you're going to be getting your certificate, you're going to be getting your transcript. We are not just doing anything anyhow. All of the courses, what your score, attendance, all of these things will be put together. In fact, you can call this a mini MBA. It is not wrong because you get your transcript. And then the capstone project completed, we had 18 people started, but one person dropped out along the line, but 17 people finished without stress. So SBL made the language, the framework, and the confidence to step into a role I had been too afraid to apply for. We have people, in fact, I don't want to start calling names. I would have asked them, we don't have the time. I would have called one or two to say one or two things that, SBL has helped them to achieve while after the program. We just finished the program just not quite long. Now, the SBL career roadmap will be shared, like I said before. The 4-run career leader, every step map, you see from the classroom, senior leader, you see, middle leader, and all of that. We will share it with you. The 5 core skill areas required at each rung, how SBL's 8 modules map to each skill area. So our courses, the 8 courses, has already covered these core skills, what you need to move if you need to move, but you have to follow the process. You move one step at a time, right? The one clear prompt at the bottom, that is your next step. So this is what will come together in the SBL roadmap, career roadmap PDF. So if you like, you can print it. If you like, you can put it on your wall. Use it starting this weekend. We will send it to you. Please, Andrew, you want to drop the feedback form already so that people can start looking at it. Now, Cohort 2 is open. Application will close June 17th. Again, Andrew will be dropping the link in the chat box, and then we'll also be sending it. So who Cohort 2 is for? It's for teachers and school staff who feel professionally stuck and want a clear pathway forward, right? Senior teacher, and I bet you, don't worry, SBL is just starting, but we have what it takes. Imagine when I'm saying that somebody like Mr. Kamal is on board with us, a lot of other people are on board with us. Rhoda Odibo is on board with us. Rotimi Ita is on board with us. Jatao Vincent is on board with us. Quite a number of people. Dr. Ishola Monsor is a professor at Tasholari, teaching EdTech, is on board with us. A lot of amazing people are on board with us. Before you know it, our plan is we are going to have a pool of people that are ready because we are grooming them to actually be ready. So that when schools need people that can step into these roles, we have people that we can introduce to them. Okay, so it's for school administrators who want to formalize what they know with a credential. And anyone who scored themselves 5 to 18 on the audit today, we didn't really have the time to do that. I'm going to send the audit to you too and how you can use it. So there is group discounts available for 5+ staff from one school. And again, you can apply. You can visit the website, the schoolbuilderslab.net.ng. And I would like to also tell you that actually our early bed, we gave 25% off, ended on the 15th of May, this month. But by the virtue of what we had this evening, because I was also moved. Look at what Mr. Kamal said. He said that, it cannot fail us, especially Black people, because now, since he's the first Black principal at Waterman College, Mr. Kamal is giving his best, not just for himself, but also for generations to come, so that everybody will know that we also have what it takes to manage schools that are we can also be called outside this country to manage schools, and we'll do it really well. So because of that, and so many other reasons, we are reopening the early bird just for you. And the early bird, this particular one closes on Tuesday by midnight. The link will be in the chat box for you to apply. You can also visit the schoolbuilderlab.net.ng. When you visit, you will see how to apply. You can also interact with the chat bot on the website to get responses, or you can even send emails to us, right? We'll also be sending emails to you. So Quad 2, the early bird, instead of the $100 that we are asking for, we have moved it back to $75, which is going to be ending on Tuesday. We have already in the room, we have 15 people that have signed up. We also are not looking for so many people. We want a handful of people that we will be able to, assist, and then they get the right support that they need. So the classroom gave you the foundation. School Builders Lab gives you the next floor. Come build with us. We want you to do that with us. So thank you very much, Mr. Afolabi. Over to you.
Very much. I think that's explanation about what School Builders Lab is doing is clear to everybody. And at this point, we'll just take very few questions. So if you have any question, Mr. Kamal is still here. Dr. Abah is still here. If you have any questions on policy, questions on leadership, preparation, and HR, please, you can put that in the chat session. And also, if you have any question about School Builders Lab, please feel free to put that also in the chat session. So, like I said, we'll just take a few questions. Please, if you have any questions, I'm looking forward to seeing that in the chat session. But as we wait on questions from the audience, may I ask a question? Now, we've been talking about leadership. Now, I want to ask this question, that is leadership for everyone? Is leadership for everyone, or some people are just meant to remain in the classroom? So that's my question. Is leadership for all, or there are some people that it's just the classroom? They will continue to lead in the classroom. So that's one question that I'm looking for. And I would like probably Mr. Kamal to help answer that. Is leadership for everyone? Okay, somebody say yes, it is. Okay. For those who distinguish themselves. Okay. So please, if you have any questions, leadership is for all. Okay. Leadership is for all. Well, for you to be here today, it means that you're looking at what is next. What is next? What is next? What is next? Now, somebody have been putting up questions about the fact that, yes, we talk about opportunities here and there. And somebody mentioned something, that the times now is not the same as the time of Mr. Kamal. And I would like, if Mr. Kamal is still here, I would like him to talk to that. Someone was saying or sharing that, yeah, Mr. Kamal had the opportunity and had the platform, but times have changed. Maybe it's not like that again. What would be your answer to someone that thinks like that? That, oh, it's not as easy as that. I probably have prepared myself, but I don't seem to have the platform. What would be your response to that, sir? Okay, it's like Mr. Kamal is not. Miss Shola, can you help answer that? Someone is saying times are different, right? I'm prepared, but it seems like the platform is not as easy as probably in the days of Mr. Kamal. What will be your response to that, Miss Shola?
Sorry, I lost you for a while.
Oh, okay. Now, can you hear me now? Now, the question is, I saw somebody putting up on the chat session that, yes, times are not the same again. Mr. Kamara probably had the platform to showcase his preparation, but the person is kind of saying the platforms are not as available as it was then. What will be your answer to such person with that kind of mindset that, yeah, it's not as, yeah, I'm prepared, but the platforms are not there?
Yeah, I agree with the person to an extent, right? Because it is what it is. But the fact remains that the opportunity, I mean, different times with different opportunity, right? So that was Mr. Kamal's time. If Mr. Kamal was not also intentional, even though the platform was there, he will still not seize the platform, right? There are so many people that were supposed to seize the platform at the time, but they did not, right? Now, this time we are talking about SBL is a platform. Take, for example, some people will seize the opportunity, some people will not seize the opportunity. It is just what it is. When I was also having my time, I don't even know about opportunity, all of these things that Mr. Kamal said. I mean, I started from the classroom. I can't start talking about what my salary was, even up until 2021, right? If I tell you what I was earning, you will be surprised. A lot of us on this call, maybe in 2021, if I tell you, you just imagine, how can somebody be earning this and then? So it's not really about the money. At some point, you really need to know what you want. Like Mr. Kamal, you see while he was talking, he knows what he wants, how he wants to get. For example, he was saying that he will not work in a school that is not a legacy school. He has his reason for saying that. So you know what you're aiming at, you know what you want, you know how you want to get to wherever it is that you want to get to. It's not going to be easy. Even this time now, maybe the next generation will be telling our own set that times were not the same as it used to be for our own time. So let us seize whatever opportunity that we have now and make the best of it, right? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think one of the things that Mr. Kamal also talked about is sometimes volunteering could just open the door, right? Sometimes we don't need just to wait for the platform to show up. And in the process of showing up, somebody is watching, right? And that could be the main difference, okay? But it's like, I don't really have question. Okay, my question to Dr. Mary, for the benefit of those of us from public schools, can we be enrolled for this great opportunity of CBD scholarship to encourage those of us that's been in the classroom all the while, sponsored by the government in order to encourage other educators to prepare for the future leadership post? So this is...
Thank you very much, Mr. Afolabi. Let me just throw in my thoughts on the previous discussion before I go right in on this one.
All right.
I dare to say that the opportunities are more now than there are in Mr. Kamal's time. And this is why I say so. Education is evolving. Our classrooms are no longer limited to one room in one building somewhere. We are in a whole new different era, and there are new skill sets that is required currently and that is required for the future. Every educator out there that is prepared to move on must jump in on these new skill sets. Just like Mr. Kamal said, you should be prepared and ready for when the opportunity comes so that you will take it. Let me give you an example. So the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria processes letter of professional standing for teachers that want to teach outside of Nigeria. People get these opportunities every day. They approach the council and say they want to do a letter of professional standing. Before that letter is sent to any institution out of Nigeria, that teacher has to be licensed and certified. You find people that have only 1 week or 2 weeks deadline, and they miss all of these opportunities because they do not have the required professional certificate or license. You can liken that to those skills as well. There are lots of institutions out there, Mr. Kamal said it. Thousands and thousands of teachers are leaving Nigeria daily to go to Canada, the US, and the UK. Those people did something different. Those people took opportunities. They were ready for when the opportunity came. So to anyone thinking that there are no opportunities, there are opportunities. And the whole essence of the discussion tonight is for you to be prepared and ready to take it when it comes. Rather than saying that there are no opportunities, I think you will say that there are more people chasing the opportunities now. And that's why you must get the skills that will make you stand out. Thank you very much. Back to the issue of government and sponsorship. I'm not speaking for the government, but I do know that the federal government, through the Federal Scholarship Board, has a lot of loan and scholarship opportunities for learners. The current government is even using the NEL fund to get opportunities for learners. I'm sorry, for teachers. I agree with the concerned participant tonight, and what they are saying is true, that there is a need for the government to broaden the horizon and taking more people on board. But the truth is that the government is doing so much as well to see that they revitalize and reposition the teaching profession. I think I said it sometime during my presentation. It's not yet Uhuru, but there are lots of reforms currently being put in place to address the moribund challenges that we have in the education sector, especially as it concerns teachers and school leaders. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Right. So let's keep open up. Yes, thank you.
Sorry that I had to cut in. I just thought to mention this. You know, I remember when I was in the classroom, one of the times that the school I worked in brought in someone to train us, and they paid for it. I was not happy. I was really, really not happy about it. I wasn't the only one, and that's common with teachers, right? Now, Mr. Afolabi, can you mute mics? So I was not really happy about it. It wasn't just me. It was my colleagues. We were just complaining. Who asked them? Who sent them? I have lessons I want to go to, and they're asking us to stay at this time. You know, that kind of mentality. I did not pay attention to it. But you see, the trainings that I have carried my money, even when I was earning 25,000 naira, I was able to pull funds together, maybe by the virtue of maybe cooperative or the contribution that we do at the time. I invested myself. I spent well over 500,000 naira at the time to learn STEM robotics. I have my Arduinos, I have my robot car, I have my breadboard, I have all of those things. I'm not even using it to make money now, but I love the knowledge I gained from them. And you see that training, I did not miss it for one day. I paid attention. So most of the time, coming this far, if you look at all of the trainings that I have that have really helped me so far, they were the ones that I have to pay through my nose, because I made up my mind to say that I need to do this. I am not comfortable with the way I am. I believe I can do more. I believe there is more in me, and I need to invest in myself. If I need to be different from others, I need to do things differently. I cannot do things the same way. It's not going to come easy. It's not going to be cheap. But, that determination, that resilience, and all of this is put together are the things that will help us. So as much as the government will do, maybe to get to a point, like I said, School Builders Lab is something that we are just starting, and it's going to go far. At some point, maybe we'd also be doing a lot of things, like for instance, we're working with the TRCN to get this, certified. At some point, we might be working with the federal government or state government to get people to come out. But how many people would they be sending on board to come and train? So let us start looking into inwards. We have a particular partner, which is a Life Better. They also give loans. So they reached out, which I have posted everywhere. If you want, if you feel that at this time I cannot afford it, I would love to pay small. We take instrumental payment. And if you don't want, if you feel that you want to break it down in such a way that we will only collect instrumental payment twice, but you want to pay it more than 2 times, Life Better is saying that come, if it's this, if you need this money to learn from School Builders Lab, we can give you the loan, right? And then you will pay us conveniently. So that's also another platform that is available for teachers to access from. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Shola. So as we gradually round up, please check in the chat session. There are links there for your benefit. Number one, we want you to help fill the feedback form. If you have not filled the feedback form, please check in the chat session. You will see the link there. Kindly click on it and fill it up. It will just take very few minutes of your time. Also, we have the link to the WhatsApp group. And on that WhatsApp group, you can get more information about School Builders Lab. And I'm sure even some of the benefits that you can get from the School Builder Lab, the financial help and aid that is also available for you. So please, you will also get, I'm sure you will also get some more information even as we progress with our partnership with TRCN on the links that are available in the chat session. So please go to the chat session, check on these links, click them, and do please fill the feedback forms. Thank you everyone for joining today. I'm sure that you are blessed to have been here today. We've heard from very wonderful, exceptional speakers, leaders in their different fields. And of course, we've heard about what Skill Builders Lab is doing, bridging the gap between moving from the classroom into the boardroom. So we want to encourage you, don't just be here. Take advantage of the opportunity that you have. One thing that Mr. Kamal said that we should never leave our mind is that we should never stop learning. We should never stop learning. Opportunities only will be available for those that are prepared themselves for it. It is when you are prepared that you can participate. And it's when you can participate that you will be celebrated. So please participate in the next cohort of the School Builders Lab. Make sure you take advantage of the discounts for the early bird before it runs up in on the 2nd of June, right? So before we round up, I don't know, Ms. Shola, do you have any last words before we say our final goodbyes?
Okay, so I would not want to keep people waiting other than to say thank you very much, Mr. Kamal. Thank you very much, Dr. Mary, Abah. Thank you, Mr. Afolabi. Thank you, my colleagues in the room. Please, let's build together. Let's talk. Any challenge at all you have, join the WhatsApp group. We can take the conversation for that. We always make things work for ourselves. If you put your mind to it, it will work. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Mrs. Shola. Thank you for bringing this together and for this opportunity to bridge the gap between the classroom and the boardroom. So for everyone that has been here, I'm sure that this has been an amazing time, a well-spent time, right, for you. So please, I would like to appreciate everyone, and I would also like us to appreciate School Builders Lab in the chat session. Just say thank you for putting this together. And we're looking forward to meeting all of you in the next cohort. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you in the next cohort. I want to say a very, very thank you to Dr. Mrs. Mary for being a part of us today, and Mr. Kamal for sharing from his wealth of wisdom. Thank you also, Ms. Shola Adeola, for this awesome platform. And for every team member of School Builders Lab, I can see so many people part of the team on the call today. I want to say thank you for what we are doing. It's been a great thing that we are doing even at the back end. God bless you. Get ready to sit at the boardroom. That's my last statement to all of you. Let's get ready to sit at the boardroom. And one of the ways to prepare is join the next cohort of the School Builders Lab. God bless you and have a wonderful evening rest. So bye for now. See you in the School
Mr.
Builders
Afolabi.
Lab.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Mary. Thank you so much. Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
Kamal. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, somebody's just there. Okay, we will get this question. Just put these questions in the group. Please make sure you join the group. Put the question in the group, and I think you will find answers there. You'll find answers.
Thanks so much, our organizer.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, if you are still here and you have not filled the feedback form, kindly do so. We will only be sending all the resources to those that have filled the feedback form. You can just click on it and then you leave the meeting, then you keep filling it. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Andrew. Thank you, Mr. Afolabi. Thank you, Mr. Vincent. Thank you, Mrs. Nwosu. Thank you, Mr. Kola Akintade. Thank you, Ngozi. Thank you, Adesua. Thank you, Femi. Thank you, Folashade. Thank you, Hidayat. Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Peter Patokon.
I was
Thank
waiting
you,
for you to mention my name before I leave.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And I'm going to end the call now. Please fill the form. It's really important to us. Thank you so much. Do enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.